Ladies and gentlemen, most people believe that becoming a millionaire is reserved for entrepreneurs, lottery winners, or the exceptionally lucky. But the truth is far quieter and far more empowering. You can build $1 million life from a 9-5 salary. Not through magic, not through shortcuts, but through intention. Wealth doesn't begin with money, it begins with purpose. Before any dollar is saved or invested, you must understand what financial freedom means to you. Is it security? Is it the ability to choose how you spend your time? Is it providing opportunities for the next generation? When your purpose is clear, discipline becomes a natural response rather than a forced behavior. Here's the mistake many people make. They try to earn more before they learn more. But wealth grows from the inside out. The mindset that says, "I will master my habits before I chase higher income," is the mindset that builds lasting prosperity. Saving becomes automatic, investing becomes a monthly ritual, learning becomes a lifelong commitment. The path to $1 million is not glamorous. It's built on small decisions repeated with consistency, setting aside a portion of every paycheck, avoiding unnecessary debt, and placing your money where it can grow. Long-term investments, retirement accounts, index funds, or opportunities that compound over decades. Time is not just a measurement, it is one of the greatest wealth-building tools you will ever have. But let me tell you the real secret. Becoming a millionaire is not about the number. It's about the person you become in the process, someone who understands value, thinks long-term, and makes choices rooted in intention rather than impulse. Your job, your 9-5, is not a limitation. It is a foundation. From that foundation, you can build skills that increase your earning potential, create additional income streams, and expand your opportunities, not because you have to, but because you want to become someone capable of shaping your own financial destiny. So start today, start small, start with clarity. You don't need a higher salary to begin. You need a stronger purpose, better habits, and the courage to stay consistent. Wealth is not built in a moment, it is built in momentum. And anyone, including you, can create that momentum, one intentional decision at a time. Purpose over money is the foundation of building wealth on a 9-5 salary because it shifts the focus from chasing income to shaping intention. When people make financial decisions without a clear purpose, they often act reactively, buying what feels good in the moment, saving only when convenient, and investing only when someone convinces them to. But when purpose becomes the anchor, every financial choice becomes a deliberate step toward a meaningful destination. Purpose transforms money from something you spend into something you direct. It gives your earnings a job, your habits a structure, and your future a shape. Having a clear why behind your financial journey means defining what wealth represents in your life. For some, it may be the ability to provide stability for their family. For others, it may be the freedom to retire early, travel, or avoid stress about unexpected expenses. Without clarity, people try to emulate what others are doing, copying financial trends, trying to keep up with peers, or blindly following generic advice. With purpose, you create a personalized blueprint. You know why you are saving, investing, and sacrificing certain short-term pleasures. Purpose makes discipline feel worthwhile because you understand what it's protecting and what it's building. Purpose also influences the way you relate to your job. A 9-5 salary is often seen as a limitation, but a clear purpose helps you recognize it as a tool. When you know what you're working toward, your job becomes part of a larger strategy, not just a paycheck. You start to see opportunities for growth, skill, building, and advancement. You approach performance differently because you're not working just to earn, you're working to build. Purpose encourages intentional career development, seeking promotions, learning new skills, or creating new streams of value. Instead of feeling stuck, you feel strategic. A purpose-driven approach also transforms your financial habits. For instance, when your goal is to achieve financial independence, you naturally question unnecessary spending. You become more mindful about where your money goes because every dollar now has a destination. You're not just cutting costs, you're reallocating resources toward a meaningful future. This shift makes budgeting less restrictive and more empowering. A budget becomes a reflection of your purpose, not a punishment. You spend consciously, invest consistently, and save with confidence because every action aligns with a bigger mission. Purpose also strengthens resilience. Building wealth on a 9-5 salary demands patience, consistency, and long-term thinking. There will be times when progress feels slow or when unexpected financial challenges arise. Without a clear purpose, setbacks can feel discouraging and tempt you to abandon your plan. With purpose, obstacles are easier to endure because your motivation isn't tied to speed, it's tied to meaning. Purpose keeps you committed when temptation or frustration tries to break your momentum. It's the reason you keep contributing to your investments during tough months or continue learning about finance when life gets busy. Another powerful effect of purpose is its ability to shape identity. When you define a meaningful financial goal, your behavior naturally evolves to match it. You begin to see yourself as someone who saves, invests, and makes wise decisions. Over time, your identity aligns with your purpose, and financial discipline becomes part of who you are, not something you force yourself to do. This identity shift is often what separates long-term wealth builders from those who start strong but lose direction. Purpose also drives intentional learning. When you know what you want to achieve financially, you become more curious about how money works. You learn about compounding, retirement strategies, investment vehicles, and smart debt management. You study not because you have to, but because your purpose motivates you to understand the tools that will help you reach your goals. Learning becomes a lifelong habit that amplifies your ability to grow wealth over decades. Ultimately, purpose over money means recognizing that becoming a millionaire on a 9-5 salary is less about the salary itself and more about the clarity that guides your decisions. Purpose is the compass that directs your habits, the engine that fuels your discipline, and the lens that transforms ordinary income into extraordinary outcomes. It turns financial growth into a meaningful journey rather than a chase for a number. By anchoring every choice in a deeply personal why, you build wealth not just with your money, but with your mindset, and that is the true beginning of financial transformation. Systematic discipline is the quiet engine behind becoming a millionaire on a 9-5 salary because it transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results through consistency. Many people believe wealth requires dramatic leaps, huge income jumps, lucky investments, or major breakthroughs. In reality, wealth is built through repeated, deliberate behaviors performed long before the results become visible. Systematic discipline means creating routines that support your financial goals and sticking to them with unwavering commitment, even when progress feels slow or unexciting. It turns good intentions into measurable outcomes. At the core of systematic discipline is the ability to separate emotion from action. Money often triggers emotional responses, impulse spending, fear of missing out, impatience, or regret. When you rely on momentary feelings, your financial behavior becomes inconsistent, and inconsistency is the enemy of long-term growth. Systematic discipline creates structure. It ensures you save even when you feel tempted to overspend. It keeps you investing even when the market feels uncertain. It grounds you in a routine that protects your future from your impulses. By relying on systems rather than emotions, you allow logic and purpose to shape your financial journey. One of the most powerful expressions of systematic discipline is automating your financial habits. Automating savings, investments, and payments eliminates the need for willpower. You no longer have to convince yourself to set money aside. Your system does it for you. This approach reduces decision fatigue and increases consistency. Whether it's directing a fixed portion of each paycheck into an investment account or scheduling automatic bill payments to avoid fees. Automation ensures that your financial goals are prioritized with precision. Over time, these automated actions accumulate into significant wealth, even on a modest salary. Systematic discipline also strengthens your ability to delay gratification. Wealth building requires choosing long-term benefits over short-term pleasures. This does not mean depriving yourself. It means prioritizing intentionally. When you practice discipline, you learn to evaluate your spending with greater awareness. You start asking whether a purchase supports your long-term goals or simply satisfies a momentary desire. This habit creates space between impulse and action. In that space, better decisions are made. The small sacrifices you make today become the seeds of future abundance. A disciplined approach to learning is equally important. Wealth does not grow in isolation. It grows alongside your knowledge. When you commit to consistent learning, reading financial books, understanding investment basics, exploring career development, you equip yourself with the tools to make smarter decisions. Systematic discipline encourages scheduled learning sessions, the habit of reviewing financial statements regularly, and the practice of analyzing your spending and saving patterns. This continuous improvement mindset helps you identify opportunities, avoid mistakes, and expand your earning capacity over time. Discipline also affects how you manage your career within a 9-5 structure. Instead of passively working through each day, systematic discipline encourages consistent skill, building, intentional effort, and steady professional growth. This may mean dedicating time each week to mastering a new tool, seeking mentorship, taking on projects that stretch your abilities, or preparing for advancement opportunities. A salary can grow significantly over time when paired with disciplined professional development. Every new skill becomes a lever that increases your value and potential earning power. In addition, systematic discipline is essential for tracking progress. Without measurement, you cannot improve what you cannot see. People who build wealth on a 9-5 salary maintain structured systems for monitoring their finances, budgeting tools, spreadsheets, investment trackers, or financial apps. They review their numbers consistently, not sporadically. This creates awareness and accountability. When you recognize where your money goes and how it grows, you make better decisions. Tracking also provides motivation as you see patterns forming, small wins compounding, and goals inching closer. Discipline transforms vague hopes into concrete results. Another powerful aspect of systematic discipline is resilience. Building wealth is not a linear path. There will be unexpected expenses, market downturns, job challenges, and moments when your plan feels inconvenient. Discipline keeps you committed during these times. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary, but habits are enduring. The ability to continue following your system, even when conditions change, is what separates those who achieve long-term financial success from those who derail their progress. Resilience is built through repetition, not perfection. Ultimately, systematic discipline turns your financial strategy into a reliable routine. It eliminates randomness, reduces emotional decisions, and replaces uncertainty with structure. You don't need a high income to accumulate wealth. You need consistent habits that allow your money to grow predictably over time. By putting systems in play, automating, tracking, learning, and delaying gratification, you create a stable, repeatable process that steadily builds wealth. Every disciplined action becomes a building block, and over the years, those blocks assemble into a foundation strong enough to support a millionaire future. Long-term thinking is one of the most powerful principles in building wealth on a 9-5 salary because it reframes your relationship with time, money, and progress. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a few months and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. When you embrace long-term thinking, you understand that wealth is not a sudden event, but a gradual accumulation of small, smart decisions made consistently. It turns patience into a financial strategy and time into a partner rather than an obstacle. Instead of chasing quick results, you allow steady progress to compound into meaningful growth. Long-term thinking changes the way you view money. Instead of seeing each paycheck as something to consume immediately, you see it as raw material for future value. When you invest even a small portion of your income regularly, the power of compounding begins to work in your favor. Compounding doesn't produce dramatic results in the short term. It grows slowly, almost invisibly, until one day the growth accelerates because your money has begun to earn money. This delayed acceleration is what makes long-term thinking essential. When you understand how time multiplies your efforts, you become more motivated to start early, stay consistent, and let your wealth grow without interruption. Long-term thinking also protects you from the distractions that often derail financial progress. In a world filled with instant gratification, flash sales, impulse purchases, social pressure to spend it becomes easy to trade long-term security for short-term pleasure. But when your mind is oriented toward the future, you become more intentional. You begin evaluating each spending decision based on how it contributes to or detracts from your long-term goals. This perspective doesn't eliminate enjoyment. It simply ensures that enjoyment is balanced with responsibility. You spend with awareness, invest with patience, and save with purpose. Another important aspect of long-term thinking is understanding that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs of failure. Financial growth is rarely a straight upward line. It includes market dips, unexpected expenses, career transitions, and personal challenges. Without a long-term mindset, these moments can feel discouraging and may lead you to abandon your plan. With long-term thinking, setbacks become temporary disruptions rather than permanent roadblocks. You remain calm during market volatility because you know the long game favors those who stay invested. You recover from unexpected expenses because your habits are strong enough to get you back on track. You maintain confidence because your focus is not on immediate results but on sustained progress. Long-term thinking encourages you to build skills that increase your earning potential over time. A 9-5 job may start with a certain salary, but it doesn't have to stay that way. When you think long-term, you invest in your professional growth, learning new skills, seeking promotions, taking courses, and expanding your capabilities. These actions may not pay off instantly, but they compound in a similar way to financial investments. Every skill you acquire, every project you master, and every challenge you overcome increases your long-term value in the job market. Over years, this steady growth creates opportunities for higher income, better positions, and additional streams of revenue. Long-term thinking also shapes the way you approach investing. Instead of trying to time the market or chase fast gains, you choose strategies that prioritize stability and steady returns. You understand that wealth grows by staying invested rather than by jumping in and out based on emotion. You focus on building a diversified portfolio, contributing regularly, and letting your investments mature. This disciplined approach protects you from risky decisions driven by fear or excitement. It reinforces the idea that time, not timing, is the true driver of wealth. A long-term perspective encourages consistency in saving as well. Even small amounts saved regularly can grow significantly over decades. The habit of consistent saving builds financial security and creates a buffer against emergencies. It also provides the capital needed to invest and grow your wealth. Saving becomes less about how much you can put aside today and more about how consistently you can sustain the habit over the years. Long-term thinkers prioritize regularity over intensity, knowing that consistency compounds more reliably than occasional big efforts. Long-term thinking also improves your financial decision-making by expanding your time horizon. When you consider how a choice will impact your life 5, 10, or 20 years from now, You make more thoughtful decisions. You become less reactive and more strategic. This expanded perspective leads to better planning, improved goal setting, and a clearer sense of direction. It helps you avoid short-term traps like high-interest debt, impulsive spending, or chasing trends. You begin to value financial stability over momentary excitement. Ultimately, long-term thinking transforms wealth, building from a stressful race into a sustainable journey. It gives you permission to grow gradually, make steady improvements, and trust the process. When you view time as an ally and consistency as your strategy, even a modest 9-5 salary becomes a powerful tool for building significant wealth. By focusing on the future, making patient decisions, and allowing compounding to work in your favor, long-term thinking becomes the quiet force that turns small beginnings into lasting prosperity. Value creation is the driving force behind becoming a millionaire on a 9-5 salary, because it shifts the focus from what you earn to what you contribute, build, and multiply. While income is limited by the structure of a job, value has no ceiling. The more value you create for your employer, for your skills, for your financial future, the more opportunities you unlock. Value creation is not about doing more tasks. It is about increasing your impact, usefulness, and ability to generate long-term benefits. When you approach your career and financial journey through the lens of value, you stop relying solely on salary increases and start shaping your own growth trajectory. Creating value begins with understanding your role beyond its basic responsibilities. Anyone can perform their job description, but those who grow financially are the ones who make themselves indispensable. They solve problems before they arise, take initiative without being asked, and bring ideas that improve efficiency or results. Value creation is not about working harder. It is about working meaningfully. When you consistently deliver more impact than expected, your reputation grows. You become someone colleagues rely on, leaders trust, and organizations want to retain. This increased value often leads to promotions, raises, bonuses, and opportunities that accelerate financial growth. Another dimension of value creation lies in developing your skills. Skills are one of the few assets you control fully, and they appreciate over time when nurtured. The more you learn, the more valuable you become in the marketplace. Instead of waiting for your job to teach you, you invest in learning intentionally. Technical skills, communication, leadership, financial literacy, or industry knowledge. These skills act like multipliers that enhance your earning potential. A person who creates value does not see learning as a requirement, but as a strategic advantage. Every skill you acquire becomes a tool that increases your long-term career and financial growth. Value creation also plays a crucial role in how you manage your money. When you learn to multiply your money through wise investments, you create value for your future self. This involves understanding how to allocate resources effectively, investing in assets that appreciate, avoiding liabilities that drain wealth, and building systems that allow your money to grow without constant effort. Investing turns your income into a value-producing engine. Instead of relying solely on your salary, you create additional value through compounding returns, dividends, and capital growth. Your money begins working alongside you, not just for you. Value can also be created by recognizing opportunities others overlook. People with a value-oriented mindset see potential where others see limitations. They notice inefficiencies in their workplace and propose solutions. They identify ways to streamline tasks or enhance customer satisfaction. They even recognize gaps in the market where their skills can shine, leading to freelance work, side projects, or entrepreneurial ventures. Even within a traditional 9-5 structure, value creators often develop side income streams that align with their strengths. These additional sources of income accelerate wealth, building without requiring massive risks or dramatic lifestyle changes. Creating value also means improving how you manage your time and energy. High-value individuals know that productivity is not about doing more but doing what matters. They learn to prioritize effectively, focusing on tasks that produce the highest impact. They protect their mental and physical health because they understand that burnout limits their ability to create value consistently. This focus on sustainability allows them to maintain high performance over many years, creating a steady path toward financial growth. A significant part of value creation involves developing strong interpersonal skills. People with the ability to communicate clearly, collaborate effectively, solve conflicts, and inspire others naturally become more valuable in any workplace. These relational skills often determine who receives leadership roles, who gets trusted with larger responsibilities, and who rises within an organization. While technical skills may get you hired, interpersonal skills often elevate your earning potential. The ability to build relationships, influence decisions, and add value to teams becomes a long-term asset that pays dividends. Value creation also involves making yourself adaptable. The modern job market changes quickly, and those who cling to old habits or outdated skills struggle to grow financially. Value creators stay flexible. They learn new tools, embrace innovation, and remain open to change. This adaptability ensures long-term relevance and protects against disruptions such as industry shifts, technological advancements, or economic challenges. The more adaptable you are, the more valuable you become in any environment. In personal finance, value creation extends to how you structure your financial life. When you build habits like strategic budgeting, consistent saving, long-term investing, and mindful spending, you create value through stability and growth. These habits reduce stress, increase financial security, and give you the freedom to pursue bigger opportunities. Every decision becomes a chance to build value rather than lose it. Ultimately, value creation turns the process of becoming a millionaire from a distant dream into a practical, achievable journey. By focusing on increasing your contribution, improving your skills, multiplying your money, and identifying opportunities, you leverage the true potential of your 9-5 salary. Value is the engine that transforms ordinary work into extraordinary financial outcomes, allowing you to grow far beyond the limits of your paycheck.